You're on this video because you want to know how to save your first $2,000. Let me tell you this to start off. It's not hard at all. Not hard. And the first thing you want to do is mentally think about the $2,000 that you want to save. Think about why you want to save it. Think about what are some things that you can do to save the $2,000, right? And I can give you some examples on how I saved my first $2,000 as a 21-year-old who has never saved a dime in her life. But she entered 2026 and decided to save $2,000. Start from there. How I did it, I looked at everything I ever spent on. Like, I went from a month to a full month of expenses. Just 1 month. Just pick 1 month. It could be the previous month. It should be your previous month. It should be your previous month, right? And you need to find the average of how much you're spending in general, right? And how much money that's actually coming in, right? I didn't know, for real. I didn't know how much money I was actually coming towards, like, into my account. And I didn't know what I was spending on, and I didn't know how much I was spending on, but I was spending. And you know how I did it? I used a credit card. Yep. I used a credit card and I spent money. And I was aware, but not to the point where I was aware on what I was spending on. You know? I knew the majority of how I was spending was on the money. I mean, how I was spending was on food. But I didn't know how much money I was spending on food. When I looked at my bank account, on my highest month, I spent almost $900 on food alone. Tell me, like, in this economy, you're asking, how did I do that? I don't even know. I would buy food every single day. 3-4 times a day. Like, I like my matchas. Then I like my food, I like my little, So it's like, you never really know what you're spending on until you actually look at what you're, spending on. So that was the first step I ever did. I looked at my account and I saw everything I was spending on. And I was like, okay, so if I want to save $2,000, right? How much, in $2,000 in a short amount of time? For me, I think it was like 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. If I want to save $2,000 in 3 months, right? I needed to save around, like, was it 600, 700? I cut back so far. No, excuse me. I meant 4 months. 4 months. 4 months. Yeah, 4 months, $2,000. Yeah. My bad. So, in that 4 months, right, I cut down my food to half. That's already enough right there. I cut down my food to half. I set a budget for every single category of what I was spending on. And I made room for, like, an extra $1,000. Like, and I only wanted to save $500, right, a month. And I made room, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could cut down on that. And it wasn't about limitations and, like, not having fun, not eating out, not doing the things I love to do. I did every single thing I love to do within my budget. I didn't stop buying clothes. I didn't stop eating out. I didn't stop doing my hobbies, and my hobbies are expensive. Sometimes I spend probably about almost $200 on my hobbies every single month. Those are expensive. Those are things you need to learn what your non-negotiables are. What are some things that you are not going to get rid of, right? So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, yeah, I could cut down. It was just the main part, food. I could cut down on food. I could cut down on, like, a few subscriptions. And I'm a very subscription heavy person. I love my Netflix. I'm not getting rid of my Netflix. I'm not getting rid of my Spotify. I'm not getting rid of my storage spaces, which I think is actually ridiculous to pay $10 a month for storage. I'm not getting rid of, what are some things? My gym membership. I'm not getting rid of, what is another thing? I use Canva, and I'm not getting rid of my Canva subscription. This is things. I had Photoshop for a minute, but I got rid of it. I only use it sometimes. I have my YouTube Premium. Like, those are things I use on the daily. Like, I don't see me ever getting rid of those things. So I set a budget for it. And I said, okay, so if I'm going to spend all this money on these subscriptions, where else can I cut down on that can give me an extra buffer? And that was food. It was food. It was the random little things I would get at the store for no reason and not, think of it as nothing. And as soon as I did that, I was like, okay, bet. This is the money I have right here. I'm gonna save. And how I did it, right? It is very important. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what your belief is. I don't care what you think. In my opinion, I don't care if you have all the self-control in the world. Obviously you don't, because you were watching this video. In my opinion, putting your money in a separate bank account where you can't see it is going to be the thing that's going to help you save. The thing that is literally going to push you to save more. Because I made it as a game. Alright, I'm going to put this money over here in this extra account. This is account that's not in my regular bank account. And I'm just seeing the number go up. I love seeing the number go up every single month. I just check it just to check it, even though I know how much money is in it. I just check it. And I love to see it. And it's like, you know what? In my mindset, I can't touch it. This is money that I literally can't touch. And it's like a switch that goes off in your brain. Like, once you start saving for a minute, that's a little bit, a few months. It only took me a few months. Literally. Once you start seeing, all right, I hit my first grand. Dang, I like that. I like seeing that number. All right, I hit my second band. Boom. I like that. I love seeing that number. Like, come on. Like, you're going to love it. You're going to love seeing that big number in that bank account and be like, yeah, I mean, I ain't rich, but I ain't broke either. If I had to spend $2,000 on something emergency, I have it. And it gives you a security, just maybe a small security, for $2,000. But it is better than having nothing. It is better than being like, oh, my tire popped and I don't have any money to change it. Oh my gosh, there you go. You got $2,000 in your savings account, and guess what? That's what it's for. You need, guys, you need this. This is not negotiable. You need it, because anything can happen, and you might be okay, but you might be okay with the little things that might happen, but you're not. Life is just too unexpected for you guys to be living paycheck to paycheck and not having any buffer. And I know it's probably hard for some of you guys, especially as someone who's young, or maybe who's in college, or maybe who has debt, but it's something that's gonna help you, and it's not going to hurt you. And you know your limit, and you know what you can do, right? So when you look at your bank account, you need to be honest with yourself. It's self-reflection. And you need to say, all right, how much money do I need to save in a certain amount of time to feel secure, to feel okay, to feel that if something would happen tomorrow, you have a small buffer. And you need to do that. Whether it's $2,000, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $500, whether it's just $300, anything is better than nothing. And to start off, you can start from as little as $5. $5 automated, going straight into a separate bank account, and not a regular bank account, a high-heeled bank account. It needs to be a high-heeled bank account. And with a high-heeled bank account, you get interest on every single dime you put in that account. You gain interest. And as someone who's young and learning how to control their finances, that is one thing that you need to understand. If you have your money in a regular savings account, you are losing money every single year. You are losing buying power. And let me break it down to you the best as possible. The government, right, and causes inflation, right? So when you have inflation moving, at 3%, right? 3% of, like, if let's see, a candy bar is like $2 now, add 3% to that, well, it's gonna be like $2.50 or $3 almost. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So when you put your money in a regular bank account, they give you 0.00 interest on some of your accounts. They don't even give you 1%. They don't give you 1% back, and inflation's moving at 3%. So you're losing buying power. Yes, the number is gonna stay the same, but your buying power is going to be less. The every single dollar that's in there is going to worth less because everything's getting more expensive. And you need to realize that. You need to understand that. Okay? So when you get a high heel savings account, search it up, ask ChatGPT, ask the internet. I can give you some recommendations if you want some in the comment section. I could definitely give you some. I can give you the one I use. It's pretty good, honestly. I get 4% on mine because I got one of my referral. But anyways, besides that, I'm not going into depth too much on that. But once you do that, right, have a separate bank account, and then, so important, have it automatically take money out your account. Have it automatically take out your account. That is lethal. That is what's going to build your money. That is what is going to take your emotions, how you feel, what you need in that moment, and take that whole part completely out of your thought process, out of your hands. Because when you have to think about it, oh yeah, let me put this money in here. Actually, I don't have a lot of money right now, so I'm just gonna put this much instead of this much, like I usually do. See, look, all that thinking and stuff. That's bad, because then you're going to fall. Then you're going to be like, you're going to get undisciplined, because it is natural. It is natural to get lazy. That is called being human, and it takes a certain person to be like, okay, to stay disciplined on something that they're trying to build. But when you take yourself out the equation and just let the money automatically go into that account, it's perfect. You don't have to think about it. The money's already gone. Oh, you look to go spend? Oh, you can't spend. Guess why? The money's already gone, and guess what? You're not going to touch it. You are not going to touch it. Yes, you are free to do whatever you want with the money, but hey, at the end of the day, I'm trying to help you. You take out the money that's called your savings account, and for emergencies, for whatever, your buffer, that's on you. But don't make your efforts go to waste. Don't set up a whole savings account. Don't set up your automation going into that savings account if you're just going to touch it because you don't have $5, because you need a little extra $5 to get your fucking McDonald's and shit. Go home. You don't need to get that McDonald's. Like, you just have to lock in, bro. You need it. I know you need it. So just lock in, save this money, save that bread. And if you had any struggles, and if you need some more insight, I do have a guide that I made, and I'll link it down below in the description. And it's basically to help your mindset with saving. And also, I do have a free mindset money reset guide, and it's just like the surface level, of the finances. And when you download that, you get 20% off my mindset saving guide. And it's just small. It's a small little course, and it's something that I think will help beginners, save the monies where they want to go. And yeah. And we're young, we're turnt. but we could also be financially smart in turn. We can also have 20, 30,000, K sitting in our bank account, and we're going on trips, like, and it all goes like with your mindset. Once you fix up here, the rest will follow. Like, literally. Like, right now, I will never touch my savings money. Like, even if emergency comes up, I feel like, okay, can I actually, I think to myself, can I just afford it without using my emergency savings? Like, so that's the brain, like, that's the thought process you need to have. Like, you don't, like, your emergency should be like your last resort, your last resort. Like, you should be selling your stocks before, actually. That might be a leap, but I don't know. I'm going to sell stocks before I have to use my savings account. This is a small portion, like, not going. But anyways, this me is yapping. But save, stay lit, stay disciplined, keep that mind checking, keep your mindset in check, and you'll be good. Yeah. Either way, link in bio.